guys, today we are going to be playing Dandy's World. However, I have to make conspiracy theories. Let's go. So you see, Astro is a moon, but Astro cannot be the moon. He's actually an evil alien sent by Mars. And so, this is why he is connected to Pebble, because Pebble is a dog, and he has two eyes. You know who else has two eyes? The aliens, which means Pebble has to be an alien. And this actually makes sense because Astro is a maiden Toon, and so is Pebble. They are connected to each other. But one thing we aren't getting is, why is Scraps below Pebble? Because dogs are afraid of cats, which is why Scraps is an anti-alien from the anti-Mars. And they are having a war against each other, which is why they hate each other. But one thing does not make sense though. Why is Rudy and Goob next to these two characters? That's because they are evil spies from the government. The government. And so, this is why Cosmo is brown. Because Cosmo had evil rays upon him, which made him unable to not be brown. And you know, this actually makes a lot of sense, because Rudy is jealous of Cosmo's ultra brownness. So he joined the government in order to stop other brown people from outbrowning him. But what does this have to do with Astro? It's because Astro is blue, just like Finn. Finn is also an alien. But if Finn and Astro are aliens, why is Pebble an alien? Because plot twist all this time, Pebble was an evil anti-alien. Yeah, he was a double agent. You know, this is why the rule applies to only but if all red aliens are blue, then why aren't all blue aliens red? This is because the roles are swapped, actually. They're all swapped now. They are all swapped all this time. This is why Boxton is one of the starter Toons. Because the government controls startups. This is why Boxton is worried, because he could go bankrupt. Because the government could lay them off. Why is the government laying people off? Because of Brightney. Brightney controls the Omega government. Brightney controls the Omega... This is why Brightney is the sole leader of them all. But if that makes sense, then why does Astro be the only Toon with A as their first letter of the name? Because Astro is gatekeeping the letter A from everyone. Yes, he has trademarked the letter A and will sue everyone. This is why Cosmo is God, because Cosmo was sued by Astro because Cosmo was considered having A in their name, which is why Cosmo is now redacted. Who is Cosmo? I don't know. But if Cosmo is redacted, why is Connie there? Because Connie was the vice president of the Omega presidency. This makes sense because the government here, it wasn't very good-ish because there was a shadow government controlling it. This is why the aliens are there, because the Omega government told the government to. This makes sense because Flutter was also an evil alien, but that couldn't make sense. They are red. So, if that explains everything, why is Gigi there? Because Gigi is actually golden, and Gigi listens to K-pop. Like, we're going up, it's our moment. So yeah, Gigi controls K-pop. This is the direct rival between A and K. Astro obviously controls A, and Gigi controls K, which is why A and K are having a fight together, which is why it created Cat's Eye. But Cat's Eye is... Who listens to Cat's Eye? It's Roger. Roger controls Cat's Eye and decides to destroy both of the parent companies that created Cat's Eye in order to control the world, and has redacted Astro from the face of the earth. Who is Astro? No one knows. Who is Gigi? No one knows. But that's because Roger was a red alien this entire time. But if that makes sense, he has to be blue. So he would aid his blue allies. Yes, they are blue. But if so, then why is Poppy there? That's because Poppy was a former employee of the A Corporation. But then, after the A Corporation copyrighted the letter A, Poppy has quit. Poppy quit and now has joined the Cat's Eye Union. But plot twist, Poppy was an evil blue alien that has decided to take over the alien company and then rebrand it to the same old thing it used to be, but with a little more sparkle. This wasn't very long-lived, though, because the Omega government got into it and learned Poppy's secret ways and redacted her. However, it backfired spectacularly. Even if Poppy was redacted, the government has redacted themselves, the Omega government, which means the hollow government that was being controlled by the Omega government is now free and can employ Brusha as their new leader. And Brusha's first operation was to redact Cole. This made Scraps angry and decided to make Brusha an alien. Brusha enjoyed powers, though, and gave strength to the alien party, and also some to the government. However, the Omega government came back, slightly different but still back, and decided to redact Russia. Who is Russia? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. But this couldn't make sense. Why would the Omega government come back? That's because it's the evil government. So the evil government decided to get rid of the sparkles from the blue aliens. So blue aliens were really mad, and so they decided to add sparkles to the evil government, which made them not serious anymore. Which is why the evil government has decided to turn yellow. It was all yellow. But now, all alone, the people of Red Alien Group are left alone, which is why Scraps has an amazing realization that they can just take over the regular government. So they took over it, partially, because the government prepared of this and decided to weaken their status as controllers, and decided to take out some of their own mischievous doing. And Boxton knew what he was doing. However, Roger sent his evil bursts. A burst so massive that it changed the whole board forever. And it made a new era, back to zero, back to the prehistoric ages. Watch as it all fumbles away. Oh no! I remember everything. Whoa. The time machine has passed. The Omega government is back. And Cat's Eye is still there too. So, what does the people do? Well, red aliens send blasts to the blue aliens. This angered them and caused them to transform into yellow aliens. Yellow aliens were super unstable and got rid of the sprint button. Everyone, including Glisten and Ginger and Rebecca and Poppy, all mourned the enabling of the sprint button. So yeah, they all wept. And they all wept to redaction. They wept so hard that they redacted. However, there was one major issue from this plan. The Toon's button was really mad that the sprint button is gone, and so the Toon's button causes rays upon the red aliens. Now the red aliens are nothing more than red hamburgers. And so every button enjoyed the day. However, the government knew about the buttons, and they were making the lore too obligated and confusing, which is why they decided to put a wall. Cole didn't like the wall and tried breaking through, but it only electrocuted Cole. and now Cool is an electrocuted. And now the yellow aliens decide to make a peace treaty to the Omega government. Omega government denies this and backstabs it. Now the yellow aliens are now purple, controlled by the Omega government. This is sad, which is why Russia decided to abstract like the amazing digital circus. Da 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 This is sad, really sad. Do you know what else is sad? Cat's Eye rebranding into a pizza company. Buxton was like, oh yum, decided to eat it. However, it was white pizza, which caused Buxton to redact. Not in the cool, the amazing digital circus way that Russia experienced, no. This is when Rebecca finally decided to eat her other redacted colleagues because no one cares about redacted people anymore. So Russia got her stomach full, but then got karma by redacting herself. That's what happened. The end. But then Brittany was like, this can't happen, which is why she abandoned the Omega government, leading the regular government to have control again. Which is why their first order of operations was to redact some of the wall that was covering the buttons, which is why the trinket button was. Oh no. So, the trinket button has caused a time lapse to the universe. It's now back to ground zero, which is sad. And now, this is a substantial thing we're going to do. It's called the Universe Extension. We have new characters, new everything, to make a new cast, a young cast that is overly relatable. So, Shrimpo is red and is an evil robot. So Shrimpo decided to recruit Pebble, Tegan, and Toodles. Yeah. But then, in retaliation, Scraps decides to join PETA. So yeah, PETA corrupted some of the minds of the evil robots. So Shrimpo retaliated by eating burgers. Scraps was upset and decided to put some of the thought germs into Rudy's head. Rudy believed that and went over to Tisha. Tisha considered it, but denied it. So Rudy went over diagonally to Glisten. Glisten agreed and joined PETA. PETA now has 3 members while robots have 4. This is a mind-numbing conundrum. Poppy needs to have the tiebreaker. Who should I pick? Actually, no. I'll create my own ballet called So, abstain. So, Poppy told everyone to abstain from this red-blue discussion between PETA and evil robots. Rebecca decided to abstain, Shelley as well. But Yada had a plan to join PETA. Now this is a mind-numbing conundrum again. Will Tisha abstain, become an evil robot, or become meat-free? Tisha, of course, decided to be an evil robot. So, the world collapsed. So